I trust you've been well, right?
Who's that? Nah, I'm just kidding. Edgeworth! What are you doing here? This is Miles Edgeworth. We've been friends since we were kids. We faced off in... have you? Okay, we faced off in court a number of times back when he was a prosecutor. But now... Hello, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Oh, but you're not a prosecutor anymore, are you? He's chief prosecutor now. Pretty soon it'll be a year, right? A title is nothing more than a title. Don't we have more pressing issues to discuss? Well, very interesting. So, what are you doing here, Edgeworth? The captor chose me as the prosecutor for the UR1 case. Wow, she's good. She went all the way up to the top. I gathered all the information I could in the short time that I had. I'll give you a rundown. You're always so well prepared, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Thanks. I appreciate this. I could really use the help. Alright, let's talk about the urine incident. I'll start with a brief overview. The victim was the psychologist, Dr. Metis Sykes. Yeah, Athena's mother. 7 years ago, on the 7th of October, her body was found here in this very room. I have 2 crime photos and the police notes on them for you to see. Gasp, what a terrible way to die! A little grisly, yeah. This other photo shows the other side of the room, I see. In which there's a laptop sitting on the floor for some reason. I also have the autopsy report for you. Okay. The murder weapon was the victim's own katana, found at the scene. Yeah, Detective Fulbright mentioned she was into Japanese culture. The body was found by a Space Center staff member and 2 police officers. The police were called in because of the sabotage threat on the Hat 1 launch. Yeah, Detective Cosmos mentioned this too. A few hours after the body was discovered, a suspect was arrested. The suspect was Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor. I hear his trial was over in a flash. Yes, a guilty verdict was declared in only 1 session. Not only did he plead guilty, but there was decisive evidence against him too. The security camera, video, and a photo of the moment of the crime, as I recall. But did Prosecutor Blackwell have a motive? To this day, his motive is still unknown. He insisted he did it, but he would never say why. So that means he must still be hiding something. Right, and there's another aspect of the case that was never revealed to the public. Yeah, I know. The part about the spy, right? Right, how on earth do you know about that? Director Cosmos told me after a bit of pressure. He told me the espionage and sabotage were behind the Hat 1 miracle. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. I've always been good at keeping secrets. Hi, I'm here for some reason. Well, I might as well tell you now. They really do suspect Blackwell of being a spy. They think he sabotaged the rocket and killed Dr. Sykes to steal the moon rock. But if you can prove that the Hat 2 bombing is the work of the same spy, we can stay the execution? It's a possibility. That's why I intend to help you any way I can. Thanks, Edgeworth. Now all I have to do is comb this room for evidence. Let's do it together. I'm helping. Alright. Let's look around, see what we get. First up, what is this giant robot? Why is there a giant robot here? This is one heck of a robot. There's something written on it. Is this supposed to be a poem? down anyone who displeases me. I make the rules. I am the law. I wield the ultimate gavel of judgment. I am Judgetron JT02. I don't believe we need to bother with that, Pearl. It's not even completed yet. Is it going to...
You don't need to talk about Judgetron, but the robot I ordered. I've been waiting so long for my Judgetron so that I can properly judge everyone. I am the law, yes.
He's right, Pearls. There's no sign of it in the photo from 7 years ago, either. They were building the Hope space probe here at the time. The murder occurred after the space probe had been removed from the room. So it was long gone by the time someone took this picture, huh? But you can see the probe in this newspaper photo. Yes, and you can see the stolen moon rock there, too. That strange black and yellow thing on the left side of the picture? It's kind of big. Note that the same rock is absent from the crime scene photo.
Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen.
I hear there's lots of research into moon rocks and stardust from asteroids these days. They say the results could potentially have a huge impact on all of civilization. It's like we're in a new space race with every other country out there. So, the person who stole it, you think it was our spy? I'm sure of it. Dr. Sykes was probably killed because she was a roadblock in their plan. Unfortunately, the government thinks Prosecutor Blackwell is the culprit.
That was a lot of information out of the Judgetron. Let's look at these notes.
It's about as cluttered as my office, but I think it's a workbench.
Mr. Nick, I think this must be a kitchen. Look at this photo. See the cute little food processor?
That isn't a food processor, Pearls. That's the Hope capsule. It was scheduled to be loaded onto the Hope space probe that fateful day. The 3 people who came to collect the capsule discovered the body. The first on the scene, huh? A staff member and 2 police officers, was it? And they were here to collect the capsule, which reminds me. So they plan to use this bag to carry the capsule. Is that right?
Yeah, more or less. Say, why don't we stop talking about the case and have a nice cup of tea instead?
Apollo and Aura Blackwell. I wonder what they're talking about. Edgeworth, did those 3 people have a bag with them for transporting the capsule? Oh, you mean this? It's a custom-made shock-resistant bag, but how did you know? Oh, I just overheard Apollo making an inquiry about it, that's all? So he's looking into the case from 7 years ago on his own, is he? Okay. Getting info. The drill that will pierce the heavens! Window, light, none of this matters. Oh, what's up here that matters? What's this? Looks like a giant power plug. It's attached to what looks like an electric vehicle charging station. This is where you could juice up your Tesla.
Like me, I'm a Tesla. That's a charging station for us robots. We come here periodically and charge ourselves up.
Wow, machines that maintain themselves. This is pretty cool.
If our batteries run out and we lose consciousness, we never know what Miss Anna will do to us while we're down, you see. Nothing
motivates quite like fear, huh? Okay, alright. We got some work boxes back here. We have a giant doomsday bomb mace thing. Hey, look at this row of rolling cases. I bet the wheels make it easier for people to move heavy research materials around.
I bet they'd be fun to ride around in. We could even probably both fit into the biggest one. I know, we could have Prosecutor Edgeworth push us.
I don't trust him not to push us down a flight of stairs. Alright, well that wasn't very useful. Apparently this thing doesn't matter somehow. What's this? A giant
robot arm, maybe?
It's pretty big for an arm, but you're right. I think these thin parts are finger bones. They're even about as long as my legs.
And there's a spiked ball and a giant drill on the floor, too. Is Aura trying to build some kind of weapon of massive destruction called Judgetron?
No, I wouldn't destroy anything massively. Just a little destruction.
Maybe she wants to use it to demolish a big building or something. Like a big center. Like a big space center.
I can picture her gleefully tearing down the street doing just that. I'd better not think about that anymore. It's probably not relevant to anything. Okay, I think that's it for this section. Let's look over here. That was cool. Look, there was some stuff in the middle, but I guess none of that was important. Start and work our way over. Toolbox. An emergency ladder. Oh, this must be the one they used during the evacuation. That she climbed down and said,
"The explosion disabled the elevators, so I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to."
But did you?
As Miss Blackwell was climbing down the side of the building, she saw the culprit inside. I wonder which would have been scarier, that or looking down.
I have suspicions. Let's look at this dentist chair. Looks like an operating table. It's in the photo, too.
Yes, it was here then as well, with the victim's body lying on it. There's a button here. Oh, I know. I'll try pushing it without asking. I just pushed it. I did it.
Pearls! Don't touch the...
Oopsie!
Murder commencing. Murder, murder, murder. Hey, it's moving! Wait, is it making a robot? It's making a robot.
It appears to be a robot assembly device.
Disassemble anything in a flash. Push the dismantle button.
That sounds pretty neat. Can I push it, Mr. Nick?
Please don't push any more buttons, Pearls.
Glango's brother lives.
Wait, it's just gonna keep making robots now? And we're okay with this? I don't know about this. I don't know how I feel about this. Let's look at this cool pink computer. Aura's desk is a mess, though that doesn't surprise me.
Ooh, I just want to dive in and straighten it up.
Wait, before you do...
Metis.
Huh? She just glanced over at her desk. It's Metis Sykes. Clonko, can I talk to you? I really hope he's back to normal.
You wish to speak to me, Mr. White? If you're going to hit me, please avoid the face area. It is expensive.
Hey, don't put me in the same class as that woman. What was Aura like 7 years ago at the time of the incident?
When Mother died, Miss Aura was confused.
Huh. So he calls Dr. Sykes mother, but Aura Blackwell Miss Aura?
With her loss, she exhibited a severe catecholamine imbalance.
I know science words. Shut up.
Excuse me, but I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, don't you know what that means, Pearl? Obviously you should. Explain it to Pearl.
Pardon me, searching for alternative expression. She would spend the nights crying and didn't take out her feelings on those around her.
I knew that, so... But thank you for explaining it to Pearl.
After Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty, she repeatedly demanded a retrial as well.
That is correct, but without new evidence, her requests were ignored. And then little by little, Miss Aura began to change. She started to hate it when I called her Mama Aura.
And before long, she started hating the court system and abusing Clonko, huh? That murder destroyed so many lives. Right. Take a look at this paper on Dr. Sykes and Miss Blackwell's research.
Ponko and Klonko. They're the robots with hearts that Dr. Sykes created. Can determine the presence of a human with their heartbeat detection system. See, a heartbeat detection system lets them determine when a human is present. Terrifying! In addition, they can recognize people by their ID tag or facial features. And they can infer people's emotions by analyzing their tone of voice. That's amazing. Hey, I don't know, Edgeworth. They might even be more human than you. What's that supposed to mean? Kind of sounds like these robots can do what Athena does. Robots with a heart. Well, I guess that's about it for this room. So, what do you think, Wright? Any ideas? There's still a lot of gaps in the evidence, but I'll pull it off somehow. After all, you asked me to prove Blackwell's innocence, right, Edgeworth?
What? He did?
Yep. He called it a special request. He reached out to me while I was still disbarred. Oh, really?
So that was what sparked you to get your attorney's badge back?
Yeah, the Blackwell case.
Right. I have a special request. I want you to clear one of my subordinates of suspicion.
Hey, I'm not even a lawyer anymore, remember? Haven't been one for a long time. Don't intend to become one again. I'm not even sure why I still have this office.
That 8-year misunderstanding has been cleared up, and you must be eager to return. I'm sure you're familiar with the other case that ushered in the dark age of the law. Very soon, a convict will stand as a prosecutor in court. I want you to keep an eye on him.
Oh, just when I'm beginning to actually like the job I have now.
Right. I'm sorry I dragged you into this. Because of the espionage aspect, I wasn't free to give you all the details.
Hey, no need to apologize. It's like I said on the phone the other day. No anchovies. If you put anchovies on it, I'll kill you. I know that the type of criminals you're after now aren't small fries anymore. Looks like your target finally decided to make a move. Yeah, it's for this very reason I returned. Time to bring it to an end. I'm gonna end the dark age of the law. That's what this is all about.
The dark age of the law? It sure comes up a lot these days on TV and in the papers. And I hear there are more false charges and fabrication of evidence than ever.
When I became chief prosecutor, the court system had already lost the people's trust. It all began 8 years ago. A lawyer was caught fabricating evidence, and a year after that, a prosecutor was found guilty of murder.
Wait, do you mean?
That's right. He's talking about my case and Prosecutor Blackwell's.
It was a downward spiral after that, an absolute nightmare. After those two cases, the mass media launched an all-out attack on the courts. Public opinion was tainted, and before long, the legal world itself was sucked into it.
It's such a shame. Once suspicion forms, it's very hard to shake. Lawyers and prosecutors were supposed to trust each other, pursue the truth together.
It's so sad when people begin to cast doubt. They start lying to themselves and each other.
Yes, do absolutely anything to win. We're in an age now where winning is valued far more than the truth. I'm sure it's caused our new chief prosecutor to lose many a night's rest. Is it just me, or did his brow get even more furrowed than the last time I saw him?
The hostage taker's disdain for the courts is a perfect example of the times.
It sure is.
Do you have any idea who the hostage taker might be?
Well, somebody who mistrusts the court system and who can manipulate robots. It's clearly Aura Blackwell. Yes, thank you. Who else but her would want a retrial of that case from 7 years ago so badly? Simon Blackwell's older sister and the owner of this room. I agree with your conclusion. Perhaps she intended to force Miss Sykes to confess. Actually, I think she had a much more horrific plan in mind for Athena. The important thing for you to solve is for you to solve UR1 and prove Blackwell's innocence.
And then maybe she'll release the hostages.
I'm counting on you, Wright, to set that prosecutor and those hostages free. And I'll be counting on you in court to help me, too. Of course, I'll do everything I can to help uncover the truth. As this isn't an official trial, I'm more at liberty to be a little unorthodox.
Mr. Wright, are you finished with your investigation?
Yeah, but I'd like you to tell the hostage taker something for me. I have to go to the detention center. I can't start the trial until I've talked to Athena.
She's already given her consent. I'll accompany you to the detention center.
So I'm still being watched, huh? I'll see you in court, Edgeworth!
Even if it will be an undocumented trial, it'll be good to face you in court again.
Hi, Athena. She was right by my side only a few short hours ago. But I feel like I haven't seen her in ages.
Oh, Mr. Wright! And Pearly, too! I knew you'd come! After all, the first step is the interview with the defendant! That's me!
And because you're my friend, and I was worried about you.
Thanks, boss.
I'm not the only one who's worried either.
Really? Who else?
I saw Miss Woods today. She was so beside herself, she came to find me. She told me you used to live in the Cosmos Space Center. No wonder you knew so much about the place.
Oh, so you know, huh? I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
It's all right, but there's some other things I'd like to ask you.
Sure, you can ask me anything. I promise I won't keep any more secrets from you.
Well, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Tell me about the day Clay was murdered.
I was actually at the Space Center that day. In the Space Museum.
Right where the culprit fled to? That's not good.
I never could fully deal with what happened 7 years ago. But when I saw the center again during the news coverage of the Hat 2 launch, I thought, maybe if I went there, things would be different this time. That must have taken a lot of courage to face your past like that. So, I went to the Space Museum the evening before the explosions. This was before the launch pads had been switched. There was a sign that said, closed for repairs, and they weren't letting anybody in.
Yeah, the director couldn't very well switch the pads if there were people in there.
But I snuck in anyway.
Did you want to see that Hat 1 group photo? The one with your mother in it?
I did. But what I really wanted to see was her jacket.
That jacket on display. That was Dr. Sykes?
But I should have known it wouldn't be easy to get over such a traumatic experience. The second I saw that jacket, it all came rushing back to me.
Feels bad, man.
Everything around me went hazy and I couldn't see. I tried to get out of there somehow. But I guess I passed out. when I came to, I was in the passage behind the rocket. I was in the shadows where people couldn't really see me.
Maybe you got confused and went the wrong way when you were trying to leave?
How long do you think you were unconscious, Athena? I was out until about noon of the next day. I didn't even know about the explosions. When I woke up, nobody was around, so I just went out into boarding lounge 2. My mind must have still been fuzzy because my memory is vague after that. I don't remember how I got home.
No memory, huh? This is gonna be tough.
Which means, what if I'm the one who killed Clay?
I think that's enough of that, Athena. Let's talk about something else. So, during the entire incident, she was unconscious in the Space Museum. Of course, I believe her. But will anybody else? What kind of research was Dr. Sykes, your mother, doing?
Machines that could tell people's emotions by their tone of voice and my special ability. Someday, when people travel to distant planets, their companions will be robots. So she said they had to be able to understand how their human companions felt. Wow, robots that can understand people! I was just a convenient subject for her research. All she ever did was work, and she never paid any attention to me. Oh! Sorry about that. Dredging up all that old stuff.
No need to apologize. I guess her home life was complicated. Oh, by the way, Miss Wood said something about you always wearing headphones.
She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research. I had to wear them every time I went out. Oh, I hated them so much, but she wouldn't listen. What were they for? She gave me some kind of explanation. But I don't remember now. It was too difficult for a little kid to understand.
Okay, but let me say this one thing. I don't think your mother only thought of you as some handy subject for her research.
I want to believe that. But just about the only things my mother left me with are widgets and this earring. Ooh, it's beautiful!
I've noticed whenever she's thinking, she definitely, reaches back and fiddles with it.
It's made of a piece of real moon rock she had for research. Maybe she did love me in her own way.
I'm sure of it. I'm really sure she did. Because that's what I want to believe, too. Moonrock earring added to the court record. Interesting. I better ask her a little bit more about her mother's research. I should show her that paper I found in the robotics lab. Okay. Present. Let's see. Robots with heart. I guess it's that.
Oh, the Ponko series. Oh, you must have gone to the robotics lab.
You seem to really love Ponko and Klonko.
Yeah, my mother made them, and I grew up around them, you know? Oh, there's one of those cute little robots in this photo, too. Haha, see Ponko's bandages? I put those on her. I just wound them around and around. Pretty bad job, huh? But I really put my all into it. I hardly left the center in those days, so I didn't have any human friends besides Junie. I didn't really understand the difference between robots and people back then. I thought that if a robot broke, bandaging it would help it get better. What a weirdo I was.
Looks like there's something written on the bandages.
Yeah, I wrote stuff like, "Get well soon, Ponko." But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. So I wasted my time. Oh, that must be the thing I made move in the robotics lab. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked just like magic to me what she could do.
A little girl who grew up around robots. She seems to have some good memories of it. On a different subject, did you hear about the person holding up the Space Center?
Yeah, a little. And this person has even taken hostages?
I guess I'd better spare the news about Trucy. Well, after some negotiating, we agreed to do a retrial of the case from 7 years ago.
What? You're kidding me! So that means Prosecutor Blackwell might...
Yep. I know he's innocent. I have to prove it. So, wait, did you know him back then?
Yes, he used to come visit my mom a lot. He studied psychology under her and would sometimes ask for advice on his legal cases. He was very kind and considerate and straight as an arrow.
Unlike now, where he's more twisted in a basket of snakes.
That's why I took the witness stand during his trial 7 years ago. Please, you have to listen to me! He didn't kill her! His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her! I was a fool. How could anybody else know what I was even talking about?
She heard the voice of his heart.
You were only 11 then, right? You were very brave just to give testimony.
Pearls is right. You did the very best you could at the time.
But nothing I said did any good. I was a shaking, scared little girl, small and ineffectual. Even after I went to live with my relatives in Europe, I stayed closed up in my shell. But you're different now. You're always so bright and cheerful. Thanks. That's because one day I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and I studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. I wanted to save Simon, but I had no idea how. Then I met Mr. Wright, and thanks to him, I realized that if I became a lawyer, I could prove that Simon was innocent. I also realized that psychology could help me do this. I mean, psychology was my mother's specialty. When I studied it, I felt like she was there with me, supporting me.
It doesn't seem like Athena knows that Prosecutor Blackwell is due to be executed tomorrow.
I wanted to prove Simon's innocence personally. I wanted to do it so bad. Even now, I want to fly out of here and go save him.
Come to think of it, she said something like that during the Themis Legal Academy trial. She mentioned there was somebody she wanted to save. She must have been talking about Prosecutor Blackwell.
I heard some prison guards say that he had an interview with Simon. How was he? What did he say?
No, I can't tell her. But how can I lie to Athena? He was doing well. He was happy about the possibility of being proven innocent.
He was? I wonder if he smiled, like he used to, back then.
If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I just have to free him. Failure is not an option here. I thought you might be here, Mr. Lawyer. We're in trouble. We are? What did you do, Fulbright? What is it?
I couldn't find a single open courtroom. They're all in session. Uh-oh, do we get to use the rubble of a certain ruined courtroom?
Oh no, but this is an emergency.
It's very difficult to interrupt a trial once it's underway.
My phone!
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's from Trucy.
I told you I'd give you 1 hour. I guess it's time to pick one of the hostages.
No, wait! We still have a little more time. Besides, all of the courtrooms are being used right now.
Make all the excuses you want, but you won't get more time. Your daughter is first. The poor thing, she's a little too young to die, don't you think?
No, don't you dare hurt her! There has to be something I can do. The cruelest injustice is about to befall us.
No, this can't be happening. Mystic Maya, help us.
Wait a minute. Maya?
I read somewhere that you were holding a trial in the middle of an exploding courtroom. That must have really been something. Although weird is par for the course with you.
The courtroom blew up. That's it. There is a courtroom we can use after all.
Okay, time's up. Too bad. Any last words you'd like to say to her?
Hold it! I objection! Aura! Please don't add to the crimes you've already committed.
So you know who I am, do you? It wasn't like I was trying to keep it a secret anyway. I'm not a subtle person.
We're ready to start the trial. Right now. In the coolest courtroom we could find. We can hold it in the ruins of courtroom number 4. The one blown up by the bomber.
Oh! What a wonderful idea, Mr. Nick. That won't be dangerous.
I never would have thought of that. I'm a big dummy. An astonishing trial in an astonishing location. I guess it's only befitting. I'll go get the place ready right away. I got a broom, gonna start sweeping, because it's kind of terrible in there. It didn't exactly pick the place for its astonishing factor. How about it? Are you ready to have your brother's innocence proven?
My brother? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forget to mention, it's not Simon you'll be defending.
What? Not Prosecutor Blackwell?
I indict Athena Sykes on the charge of murdering her own mother. You'll be defending the little princess there, the one behind the glass. I know she's there. I can hear her.
What?
See you in that mountain of rubble you've chosen for our courtroom, Mr. Wright. What is she talking about? Athena? Of course. Why didn't it ever occur to me before? If Prosecutor Blackwell was innocent, somebody else had to have been the true culprit. Did I? Did I kill my own mother? No! No!
Black Cyclops? No way. It can't be true!
Mr. Nick, what's the matter?
I see 5 black Cyclops. I've seen these kinds of locks before. Dark, black locks protecting a secret hidden deep inside a person's heart. And there's no way to remove them. To be continued. Investigation complete. Well, that's all for this episode, everybody. Be sure to tune in next week when we have a crazy trial. Ooh, it's gonna be a doozy. So, show up Thursday at 7. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Bye for now.